Hello everyone, Profi here. I've been playing Destiny now for a few months, and I want to talk a little bit about my experiences and impressions. I see that there are a lot of Destiny 2 content creators out there who talk about the implications for new players, but no new players actually put any input, so it might be kind of cool to hear what a new player actually has to say. So let me tell you a little bit about how I got started. I started playing in January. It was the last few weeks of that season, and my friend was trying to get me to start playing the game. He actually has a YouTube channel, StealSpeaks. Check him out. But anyway, I started the game up and I created a character. At first it was kind of hard because you have three choices. You have to play either a Warlock, Hunter, or Titan. So I watched a few videos and looked at what each one kind of plays like, and I kind of ultimately decided to play a Warlock. I guess something about the glidey jump and healing myself seemed kind of necessary for myself as a beginner, but I'm not really a fan of the jump. It's kind of more complicated than it seems. Okay, I want to start with some positives. I will say that this game looks really good. Each world has a distinct look and feel, an atmosphere. You can take in the beauty of everything, yet it also still seems kind of dangerous. I was talking with my friend and I mentioned to him how I felt like all of the area seems kind of cold, and you especially feel that way about Europa, but even the EDZ feels like it's approximately 48 degrees at any given time. Nessus might be the outlier. My friend told me that there were some other places before in the game, like in Destiny 1, but I haven't experienced those. I also have to say that the weapons generally feel good. You go around targeting and defeating enemies, and that's like the highlight of the game. It just feels good. You easily get lost because you're suddenly in the middle of wars between enemies, and you can take them on, and other Guardians come in and join you and help out, and it just feels so good. There are also public events that occur periodically, and that could be a fun thing to do sometimes, or it could be a distraction from what you're planning on doing, but that's not always a bad thing. There's a variety of different abilities to choose from in this game. There's Arc, which is electricity, Solar, which is fire, and Void, which is purple drink. And then there's also Stasis, which is ice. And I want to come back to that a little later. I also want to mention the variety of enemies in this game. There's so many different warring factions and they all hate each other. And there's such a good variety. In my opinion though, the Hive is the scariest. Like honestly, it seems like everyone's trying really hard to get their piece of the pie, but the Hive has the whole bakery, and everyone's at various levels of accepting that. I mean, it really seems like if there was no Traveler, or if the Guardians weren't around, the Hive would probably take everything. I'm going to come back to the story of this season, but the story of the season was basically Catal, the Cabal leader, wanted to unite with us to take down the Hive, and I'm thinking maybe we should. I mean, they're the ones that look like they're gonna take over everything. I'm kind of wondering why everyone isn't just focused on the Hive. Like, they're the ones that seem like they're gonna take this, and I'm just a new player looking at them, and they look like they're the ones that's gonna win if no one steps in. So, I don't know. Just my opinion. Overall, there's a lot to enjoy here. I just want to say a few additional things before I move on. At the beginning of the season, there was an opportunity to play 12-man raids and nightfalls, and that was mostly because of a glitch, but it's been patched since then. I just want to say that those were really, really fun. I mean, it's true total chaos, but it was a good thing. It was really fun. I kind of wish they could stay around, but it seems, Bungie didn't want us to do that, but okay, I guess. But I would have never participated in a raid if that wasn't a possibility, because I wasn't ready otherwise. So having a chance to do it and be with a lot of other people that could kind of help you learn or help you just get through it, that was a possible thing for me. I kind of miss the fact that we can't do it anymore, but I also want to shout out Bunker 15 on Europa. It's one of the lost sectors. It's a really cool lost sector. I think it's my favorite one. It's the one where you go in and you have to help out a bunch of exos that are trapped in little cages with the Vex kind of patrolling them. It's a really cool lost sector. I thought it was fun. but Bungie kind of made those like a special like Master and Legend Law sectors, which makes it more challenging and less, I won't say less fun, but maybe more stressful, I guess is the right word. The thing for me is I like to get into a game and have fun and enjoy it and just relax. And when it becomes a little overly stressful, then it's not as fun for me. But, you know, that's just me. Okay, I want to talk about some of the bad things. And before I start, I have to say that I was planning this video out for a while now. And a lot has changed, I guess, or a lot has been announced to change. Bungie released a large statement kind of in the earlier part of this season where they're saying that they're going to be doing a lot of fixes to complaints made over a long period of time. I kind of just want to say that that's a really good thing because it sort of addresses a lot of stuff and it takes a lot of things I was going to say off the table. But I think I can still mention it because it did have some effect on me, or I noticed it as a new player, and that's important for you to know. I also think I have a few things that's not on the list, so to speak. So here we go. I guess my first thing, it has to do with Bungie's usual response to its community of players. While they released a statement that happened earlier this season, it's a good thing and it goes in the right direction, but apparently there's been a history of Bungie kind of not caring about its players or concerns or anything like that. So, I mean, I'm happy to see that they're doing something, but I've already heard from people in my short time of playing before they released that statement that there's a lot of not caring going on when it comes from Bungie. So I hope that with releasing that statement, it shows us that they're going to be taking a new direction and perhaps maybe caring about their players more and listening to them more, because they're the ones playing the game and paying for it, so you should do that. I mean, it wouldn't really be a good look for a company to show complete disdain and contempt for its players, but I guess it wouldn't really be the first time. My next thing has to do with sunsetting. Yes, Bungie said they're doing away with it, and that's great, but even in my short time of playing, I've been affected by it. I have a bunch of stuff to say about it, but basically, I was on the moon doing some activity with my friend, and I wasn't able to start it right away because I didn't start Shadowkeep. So I had to initially start a Shadowkeep quest so I can get that stuff going. But did you know that if you play the Shadowkeep quest, you get these items that are part of the story that are all sunset? Like, why? Why would you give people this if it's part of the story in a sunset? Like, don't they know that every day is someone's first day playing this game? And it's not like those items are even that good. It's just stuff you need to have. But like, it just feels like garbage because now I'm getting these items that I need for the story that I can't use otherwise, but it lowers my light level. Like, come on. On a related note, my friend and I was doing the nightmare activity on the moon, and I ended up getting a Masterwork Blasphemer drop, which had a very good roll, but it was sunset. And this was before they re-released the Blasphemer a few weeks later. I wish I could have just upgraded the one I had, but nope, I had to get a new one. And this overall is an issue that I hope gets fixed. Like, I kind of wish that if an item is sunset, it shouldn't drop in the world. It should just be gone. And when they re-release it, fine, put it back out there. But if it's not an item that is currently usable or upgradable, just take it out of the game. Thanks, that'd be great. Okay, in my notes I put Stasis next. I have to say, technically Stasis is in the mixed category. I'm coming around a little bit more on Stasis, but let me explain it a little bit. Initially, when you have to go through the Beyond Light storyline to get Stasis, like, it's kind of annoying. I'm just honest, it's kind of annoying. And when you get the actual Stasis abilities, and I'm just speaking from a Warlock because I've only played Warlock basically, I don't really like Stasis, at least the initial version of Stasis. It doesn't feel very good. It's just kind of there, and it's kind of annoying to use actually. But I will say that if you get some of the additional aspects and some of the fragments and additional things, then Stasis becomes okay, and I don't mind it anymore. I actually kind of like it sometimes. but it took a while, and it took getting those additional fragments and aspects. But on that same note, doing the stuff to get those fragments and the aspects isn't typically the fun stuff I want to play in the game, just being honest. But yes, I'm happy I got it done, and I do think that overall it makes stasis better. I also want to point out that I like the actual screen that you can use to like upgrade your stasis, or at least customize your stasis job class. I kind of wish all the classes were like that. That makes more sense to me. I mean, I like it. I don't know why the game doesn't do that. I'd rather pick what I want and make it what I want it to be than to just commit to a set tree of abilities. I also kind of noticed that there's a severe lack of stasis weapons. At this time, there's only one weapon in this game, and it's not that great. And I question why there isn't more. I mean, we kind of know from the story that Clovis Bray was researching stasis, and he couldn't quite figure out how to use it. But couldn't he have started some projects and had some stuff in the back burner? And when we come along, we can help figure out how to finally put stasis to work. And you know that sword we get, the Lament sword, could that have been a stasis sword? I'm just thinking about Final Fantasy Tactics now. But like that could have been a stasis sword, and that would have been kind of cool to use, but nope, it's not. I mean, I guess that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to probably say that in the future as we go through the more seasons of the game, because they already mentioned that there will be stasis weapons coming into the game kind of soon, at least in the next few seasons. So they're probably going to say that there were some stuff that Clovis Bray has in his lab somewhere, or they'll probably have the Extra Stranger go and figure it out or something. But they could have did it already. I mean, we have a lab and we have Clovis Bray, and we know he's researched stasis, so it could have been done, but I guess they just wanted to make stasis that rare. It didn't need to be. Oh yeah, and now the other part of stasis. So I guess they're fixing this too. They announced and they already powered down stasis for some of the players when you play them in PvP. But before, if you played PvP, stasis was a nuisance. It was terrible and awful, and it was a bad time. If you play with someone else, like, they would immediately kill you, and it was just too overpowered. So Bungie has already started the process of fixing this, and I guess that's okay. It's good that they're doing that, but man. Now I want to talk about PvP since I mentioned it. Maybe because I'm new, I don't know, but I often feel like I'm too weak to actually play most Crucible games. I just feel like there isn't much of a balance. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing here, but I mean, I don't know. I can kind of stomach Gambit, that's not too bad. I did not like Iron Banner, and I never played Trials or Osiris, so it's possible that that's as terrible as it sounds. But I can't imagine winning 7 games in a row. That sounds like an impossibility for me. And I know a new player trying to do something like that, maybe that's just not possible, but yes, the idea of it sounds hard. So now I have some of my bigger complaints of this game. Okay. So I get the sense the game just kind of throws you in and says, have at it, have fun, just go for it. But I feel like sometimes they don't really give you a lot of direction of what to do. Maybe because I missed a lot of stuff because I was new to the game and just generally lost. But I felt like I didn't know what I was doing for like the first 2 weeks. I mean, I guess, you know, if I didn't have a friend playing the game as well, I would not know what to do. I just would not know. I could speak a little bit about my first experiences with the game. So you start the game up and you have a cutscene and all that, but basically you start playing and you're going through some kind of warehouse, and I guess you're trying to learn the different like combat mechanics, and you're getting some enemies to come attack you. They're not doing like anything aggressive that's too difficult for you to figure out, and you're just learning how to use your weapon, so it's not too bad. But it's just, you know, something that help get you started. The cool thing is that once you get through all that warehouse stuff, you make it out to an open field, and there's this big walker there that's like being like a nuisance, and there's a bunch of different guardians there attacking it. So I think that's a good thing, because as a new player to a game that's an online thing, you're going to see that there's other players playing at the same time, and you're all taking a part of this big public event that's like kind of always ongoing. It's kind of cool. But during all of that, I mean, maybe it was just me being new to the game and kind of not knowing what I was doing. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I mean, I did replay that part again with a new character. I made it a Titan this time. And I did see that they do pop up little things that tells you, now go do this, now go do that. But I missed it all completely the first time. And I wonder if new players are feeling the same way, or maybe they're not catching everything that they're supposed to do. Another thing I really, really don't like is that sometimes you get missions where you have to do things or look for stuff with no direction whatsoever as to where you need to go to find that item or to complete the mission. One example is on the moon, where you have to I guess find some items to unlock certain things, and they're like in the most random places that you would never ever look. I mean, yes, they're a part of the moon and they're a part of like going through some of the dungeons and whatever. Like, it just feels like they're way into the place and they're like way in the back and they're most obscure places. It's like, why would I ever know it's there? Like, I don't like that. But I mean, some people might like the most obscure stuff, cryptic things, but I don't. Like, I'd rather the game give you a hint or tell you kind of what you kind of need to do, but they just don't tell you anything. And then the biggest example of this is like the Crows mission. I guess the Harbinger. God, I have so much to say about that. It's just, I can't even begin. Okay, hold on one second, hold on. I think I need to talk a little bit about game design, which is different than gameplay and even different from game feel. So when a game establishes some rules for you, it establishes parameters for which you need to follow so that way you can play the game and find a way to successfully win at a fair way. But what happens if the game suddenly changes the rules and doesn't tell you? So on that mission, you're making your way to the dam, but this time you're going a different way than you usually go, and you can't enter the dam the way you normally go. So you think, okay, there's an enemy shooting at me from that platform over there. Can I go over there? Yeah. Is there somewhere higher I can jump up to? No, I don't see anything. How about do I go back and go around the other way? No, you can't go back that way. Never in my life would I have even dreamed that I would have to jump down to a branch and then jump towards the dam itself. Any other time that you ever go out of bounds like that, the game kills you. The game has established that you have to stay in bounds because it kills you every time you try to explore something you're not supposed to. So why is it okay now that you can go out of bounds like that because the game just says, oh, you gotta figure it out? No. The game's supposed to tell you something, give you a clue, give you something, but there's nothing. I absolutely hate that mission. I absolutely hate when the game does stuff like that. One example of that is like when you play Castlevania, like the old Castlevania game from a long, long time ago. You're supposed to use an item that helps you get to the final castle, but it doesn't tell you how to use it or what to do. You're supposed to go to like that cliff at the end or whatever, and like you're supposed to kneel down, and then this tornado comes and picks you up and takes you to the castle. But there's nothing in the game that tells you that. Actually, that game is famous for not telling you anything. But why do we have to play a game that's supposed to be, you know, why would I want to do that? Like, that game was panned for not having anything to tell you anything. It's not fair, and it's so cryptic. I don't want to play a cryptic game now. That's not good game design. I'm trying to talk to my friend about this. I'm trying to calm down. But game design is important. You're supposed to explain to the player what to do and let them figure it out. I'm not saying that I want someone to hold my hand and take me through the whole game and babysit me. I don't want that. I want to be able to play the game and figure it out, because then I feel like I succeeded in something because it's in the game that tells you how to figure it out. It doesn't have to walk me through. It doesn't have to tell me the answers. There should just be something in the game that lets me know this is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm fine with that. But if there's nothing, the only thing I can do is look it up. And I don't want to have to keep looking up everything I do in this game. It should be in the game. Okay. I'm okay now. I also want to mention in a general sense that as a new player, besides this season's story, as I was playing through previous stories for like Shadowkeep and all the other ones, like I just felt like the story in general, it didn't really explain anything to me. I kind of had to pick up things in bits and pieces, and I had to watch like videos on YouTube. I also want to shout out MyNameIsByf. I mean, if I didn't see his videos, I would not know the history and the lore that I know now, because the game doesn't tell you. I mean, I felt like I was just walking into the middle of the book, and I didn't know what was going on, and there was no explanation. I mean, people who played the game since Destiny 1 know what's going on, but like, I kind of had to figure it out. And the game should kind of put you back into the loop, explain things a little bit better. I mean, apparently I've learned that you can look up lore from different items and different stuff that kind of explain a lot of backstory stuff. But I think the game should tell you that. Like, why do I have to look into the backlog of stuff or go online and find it? Like, it should be in the game. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how many times I've always sat down and asked my friend details about the game, because he knows, he's played since Destiny 1, and I'm just asking him questions about stuff, and he will tell me, but like, I feel like the game should have filled me in as a new player. And like, I don't know, maybe I don't need to know, but it'll be nice to know because it gets me invested into the story. My other issue has to do with the bounties and quests. There's more parts to it, but the first part is, have you ever done something and the game doesn't count it? This happens to me sometimes, and I don't know why. Like, one time I had a bounty, I think from Cosmodrome, and it says I had to do 3 public events. And so I went around and I did some public events, and like, some of them don't count. I don't know why, but they just didn't count. There was this season, there was a weekly that says you have to do Iron Banner, and I did 4 matches and only 1 of them counted. And I did 4 Crucible matches and only 2 counted. Like, I don't understand why. And on the opposite end of that, I was playing with my friend after they re-released Blasphemer, because I wanted to do the Nightmare activity and get a new Blasphemer to make up for the one that I couldn't really use anymore. I mean, I got it and it was sunset. So anyway, initially I went to the moon and I played a round without my friend there, but there was people there. We completed the entire wave all the way to the very end, got the chest, and I opened it and I got like 1 billion Phantasmal Fragments. And then everyone played a second round, and same thing, I got Phantasmal Fragments. I did not get a Blasphemer. But they all left, and so I was by myself, and I was like, I guess I could try to do some of this Nightmare activity. I can't really do it by myself very well, so it took a while, but eventually I made it past like the first part of that wave, like the wave system. So you get to the second point, we have to get to the next area. I couldn't keep it up from there, so a chest does drop. And then I got a Blasphemer. It wasn't a great one, but at least I got one. But I was like, why do I get one now if I didn't complete the activity? The second thing, I had it happen again. Someone else joined me, and we played some more. We didn't finish it, but I got another Blasphemer. So I had 2, and I didn't even finish the activity. Later on, my friend comes on, and we do the whole thing. He gets a Blasphemer at the end, and I get Phantasmal Fragments. So, I don't know. The game just decides that you don't get one or you do. I have no idea. So, I don't get this game. Okay, I have a few notable mentions in my negative section. The first one is Infinity Quests. It feels like you have 1 billion different things to do in this game, and sometimes you don't even know how you got them, but you feel like it's going to take forever to complete all of your quests. Sometimes it's just too much. I mean, I guess it gives me something to do, but I also want to, do other stuff in the game, I guess. Another thing I absolutely do not like is the jump puzzles. So sometimes you get these really, really annoying and very unforgiving jump puzzles. And sometimes you just mess up and like you have to respawn like much further back, so you have to do a whole bunch all over again. Like, come on, please. It's already hard enough. I don't want to redo stuff I just finished. Come on. Another thing is those very long respawn wait times. I don't know why they want to make you wait forever to respawn. I mean, I guess it's your punishment for like messing up and not being perfect, but like waiting is not going to make me do better next time. Like, we just want to get back in there and keep playing. Waiting is not helping me at all. Let's just get back to the game. And my last thing, I don't know if Bungie can really help with this. This is just a thing I noticed, but yes, it's a thing I guess everyone has to deal with, but they're selfish players. So this game combines a combination of, you could play the game by yourself. There's other people there, but you could play by yourself if you totally feel like it. There's co-op where you play together with other people. And then there's also competition or playing against other players, which is the combination we have in this game. Okay. It's good for people to learn how to play cooperatively, which is co-op. I'm playing with you and working together with you. And the thing is, the game matches us with people that are randomized. Whenever we do Strikes or Nightfall, or I guess Gambit is partially co-op and also partially, playing against other players. It's both. But still, you run around and you have these people that are going to come around and just kill everything. And meanwhile, you're stuck trying to complete your bounties or do something, and like everyone's killing everything, and you're just like, why are you here just murdering everything? Like, if you want to play your game, okay, fine. I kind of wish that Bungie would let people just go into a Nightfall or go into a Strike with their fire team, and even if it's not 3 people, it could just be 2 of you, and that way you can just go by yourself and just do what you gotta do. But instead, you have to get matched with someone else, and I don't really like that, because sometimes you get not great players. And, Bungie can't fix that, but I'm just pointing it out because it's true. And I guess one of my last things is finding out if maybe the things I do in the game matter. And what I mean is that sometimes you do an activity, and ultimately you're doing these activities to get items and equipment, and it doesn't always feel like what you get is a payoff for what you have to do. Because basically, you have to keep doing these activities over and over again to see if you get the drop you want, because you don't always get the drop you want. So it just feels like it's a cycle of just constantly doing something. And sometimes the things you have to do isn't always your favorite things to do in the game, but it's the only place you can get those items. So it just feels like busy work, I guess. How is this different from grinding in Pokemon? I mean, it's not, but it is, but it's not. I can't put my finger on what exactly I mean. Sometimes I just feel like it doesn't matter because I'm not getting a thing I know I'm going to get. I want to get something that's kind of like it, and I might have to just settle for that, or I keep doing it and maybe I'll get a better one. Or I don't know. Someone put this into words for me. I can't quite put it to words. So in the overall sense, I would say, despite my gripes, I would say that I still do like this game. I mean, it has a very good game feel. The weapons, the design, the world building, the battle mechanics, the abilities, and so much other good stuff. I mean, it's all there. I mean, there's some graphical glitches sometimes, and the server has issues sometimes, but those don't usually interfere with my enjoyment of the game. I will say that I do have an issue with the way Bungie likes to make the game more difficult and put you on this forever chase for some new items. I don't know if I like that as much. But this game has this allure to it. It has something about it that just feels really good, and it just keeps you interested in playing more. And I will say also, I forgot to mention the story of the season. So I thought the story of the season was really, really good. I mean, I'm new to the game, but I just thought that they kept me invested in what's going to happen, and I wanted to keep coming back every week to see what's going to happen further. And I just thought it was really fun. Hopefully they keep it up. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about the story this time around, saying that this is something that doesn't normally happen. And I'm happy that my first real season of the game had something good. I mean, wonderful. That's great. I also want to see how all the proposed changes get implemented into the game. I mean, it all sounds really good, and some of the stuff has started, but it may take a while for everything else to come along. It might take, they said, between seasons 14 and 15 where everything is finally put into place, but I'm kind of excited to see how it's going. I do plan on continuing to play the game, and I may do another video here or there about Destiny, but I plan on having other content on my channel. So, check back and maybe like and comment and subscribe to my channel to find out about other stuff I might do. If you like it, please share with other people because maybe they may like it. And so I thank you so much, and I'll see you all soon.